Here's part two, because as always, when I started with part one, I forgot the most ridiculous thing ever. And unfortunately, it has to fall as part two. The most ridiculous thing ever these past 2 years, but especially this year, is how everybody on the Western side of the world, every vlogger, every influencer, everybody is all about, oh, we're looking for cruelty free products and cruelty free brands. And so, by cruelty, what do you mean by cruelty free? Oh, that has not done any test on animals, that has not used animals. Oh, so it's okay if they endorse genocide in Palestine. Okay, I get it. So, cruelty free is is something that they cannot compromise on, but it's okay if they're going around killing human beings on earth. Yeah, just look at the Western world's priorities, and then they wonder why they have Trump for a president, why they had Biden for a president. Seriously. Just like how I say that even though our government is illegal, our army is basically illegal at this point in time, and so is our police force. But I do say that, yes, they do represent our people mentality wise, the enslaved minds, that weird ass mentality. So, yeah, that's how your presidents totally reflect you, your mentality, your priorities. Amazing. Now, another ridiculous thing that I've been finding for the past few years, it wasn't so ridiculous in the beginning. People seem to go about it now and, full fledged. But the truth is that these plasticky clothes, they began way back in the early 2000s. In fact, the late 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah. I have actually quite a number of clothing items from way back then that were, if you touch it, you could see that they're, plasticky to touch at. They're a bit, too synthetic. And these are those clothes that were used. Yeah, I'm sorry, ignore the background, but I'm really in no mood to, so I have to do this quickly because I actually have another job that I need to get done ASAP. So before I forget everything, I need to get this recorded. Um, what was I saying now about the clothings? Yeah, the clothing items. They were usually for, party wear, clubs, discos, stuff like that. And because of that, you found them in quite interesting designs and styles. But now, what is even beyond ridiculous is when they advertise winter stuff as woolen and then they write pure acro wool. Like, what? What? Seriously? Acrylic, plastic. Thank you very much. And then you're saying pure acro wool? Like, what's wrong with you? That is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. So, we have that ridiculous point. And then the brands, the fact that people are still after brands, which really is a very superficial thing. Because listen, I have, and this is my own personal experience, and so I have ample proof and evidence of the fact that non-branded items actually can sometimes far exceed in quality than your so-called brands. Your brands are basically selling you their names. You're buying their names now. You're not really buying quality from them. Okay? So, yes, I mean, it's true. I do have some old branded stuff that are, you know, touch wood, mashallah, still intact, in perfect condition. I get that, like Calvin Klein and stuff, yes. But number one, never going to go for brands because I'm boycotting them. Number two, stopped going for brands quite a number of years ago because, as I said, I found top notch quality in unbranded items that have lasted me longer. And again, I would say that maybe you could just put it this way. In those times, the old products that we bought years ago from brands and from non-branded market or shops, they basically more or less had the same quality with just a few, just a percent here and a percent there off. So they're both, you could say it, that was the time when people actually worked on quality. Quality mattered, durability mattered, sustainability mattered. Now people are always talking about sustainability and durability, but I'm sorry, but the manufacturers themselves are deliberately manufacturing stuff from mobiles to laptops to other appliances that will not last. They're deliberately, even TVs. Now, TVs were things that would last forever, but all of a sudden now, TVs have also become items that should not last more than 4 years if it's smart TV, and otherwise it should not last more than 10 years, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. If this isn't causing environmental hazards, I don't know what is. If this isn't causing trash that cannot be recycled properly, I don't know what is. People in the 80s, even, and even in the 90s, we bought stuff, we bought lesser stuff, but they were made to last. Nowadays, the manufacturers are all about, oh, people need to buy more and more and more. Otherwise, how can we sell more and more and more? Which is very idiotic because, hello, have you seen the way we reproduce? Have you seen the population in the world? It's just increasing. You have, and you will never have a shortage of buyers and consumers. Okay? And people had that common sense before. Manufacturers had that common sense before, but now it's like a fucking rat race the way they're going on. They're deliberately manufacturing poor quality products. They're deliberately manufacturing limited time products. And then they're talking about durability and sustainability. Shut the front door. Seriously. I have had shoes that were locally made. Now, here's a prime example. I've had shoes that were locally made, and I literally bought them more than between 20 and 25 years ago, some of them about 18, 20 years ago. Some of them actually even 12, 10 to 12 years ago. Here's the difference. Those that I bought almost 2 decades and more ago, I bought them for literally 150 rupees, for example, a pair of shoes, 150 rupees, all locally made and all. They have lasted me till date. Literally, only now have they started to slightly chip off on the top, the surface. Can you imagine? After more than 2 decades, minimum 2 decades. Now, the recent purchases that I got in the shoes, let me go a little bit further back. Those that I got between 10 and 12 years ago, they more or less sustained, but I've had to take them to the cobbler to re-glue the soles, for example, or to tell him to just sew the whole thing instead of gluing it again, for example. So there was that. But some of them are in perfect condition even now. Then the latest purchases, which are very expensive. First of all, no real pure materials are used. So it's not, our traditional shoes have always been made of pure leather. You look at Kolhapuri, you look at Peshawari chappal, you look at kosas, they're always made of pure leather and fabric. So the soles are always leather, and the top part is sometimes leather, sometimes fabric like suede, velvet, anything, right? But now it's all artificial. It's all artificial. It's not good quality. It's very expensive. And they say, oh, it will last you 10 months. Excuse me. I'm paying thousands of rupees on a shoe that's going to last me 10 months. I have shoes worth 150 rupees that have lasted me 2 decades. And this is not about brand here. You will find this exact same problem in branded shoes as well as unbranded shoes now, where nothing is real. The leather is not real. The fabric is even, like, God knows what kind of fabric it is. The pasting, the stitching, nothing is very good. And, and I hate the soles that they're putting underneath now. They give that, they look so hard, you know, and they give that clickety clack sound, which I hate the most. None of my shoes make that sound except for my most recent shoes. They're the only ones that make these sounds. And I hate it. It's so cheap, it's so tacky. You're spending so much money and you're getting these cheap, tacky soles. What's wrong with you? That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. You know, look at branded bags and then look at your local made bags. Again, nowadays, the problem that I have with local made bags and shoes is they are not local made. In the sense they're local made, but the material is no longer local. Before, the materials used were also local, which is why those shoes and bags lasted forever. Now, the material that they're getting is from China. And obviously, they're going to choose the fourth class material quality, and they're going to sell it to you for 4 times the price. And it wouldn't last you 2 months. Forget 10 months. It wouldn't last you 2 months. It will start chipping off because now we've got extreme weather conditions, extreme heat. And in the past few years, we've got this added humidity now all year round, which was never there before. We used to have a dry summer, followed by monsoon, which is humid, followed by autumn and winter. Now, spring and autumn is out of the mix. Seriously, I don't remember the last time I actually saw spring. Was it 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Okay, that even not properly. Now it's as if we're transitioning straight from summer to winter. And throughout these 8 months of the year, we have humid weather, which is something we've never seen before. And so people are just not prepared for it. And materials are not prepared for it. So you've got these problems coming up. The worst, most ridiculous thing that I have seen is something I've talked about before many times, and that is you go to get bathroom fittings, sanitary fittings, you ask for stainless steel. Before it was always stainless steel. Now you ask for stainless steel and they say, oh, it's steel. And they give it to you. And when you've bought it and you go back to them and you're like, this is not fucking stainless steel. They're like, no, it's not stainless steel. It is actually chrome on steel. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I asked for stainless steel. Why are you giving me first of all, why are you stocking your shops with things that you want us to buy and not things that we want to buy? What's wrong with you? As if life isn't hard enough. We're always looking for things that should decrease maintenance, not increase maintenance issues for us. And in the shops, they're just hoarding stuff, forcing you to have no choice but to buy the worst kind of high maintenance things that they're just as if you don't have enough tensions in life. Look, Pakistan is the hub of tensions and stress. There's not a single thing in this country that can give you peace. There's not a single person in this country that can give you peace. As if that isn't enough. Your government, your army, your police are not giving you peace. As if that isn't enough. Now you have to go and deal with shopkeepers who do not have the freaking stuff that you want, but are shoving stupid, ridiculous things up your face. I have a problem with that. And the reason why I'm putting it in this 2024 recap is because this year it has been the worst. Because even worse is Daraz scams. Because I have been shopping from Daraz when it was first founded by a Pakistani group of people. And then when it was taken over or bought, you can say, by AliExpress, Alibaba. And, they were like, okay, but they still kept the headquarters in Karachi, Pakistan. So, okay, fine. And then, when they suddenly decided that, they're making you the Raz member because, customers like us who are old customers who've done lots of shopping and all, whatever, they automatically made us the Raz members, club members. And have I ever found a single advantage of being a club member? No. Did I ever get vouchers? Did I ever get, gift packs or whatever? No. Did I ever get heavy discounts? No. In fact, if anything, coins, they just make you collect all these stupid coins, and the coins have no value because most of the time you find that you can't even use them in any of your purchases. And sometimes you're getting just 3 rupees worth of a discount from thousands and thousands of coins. Because weirdly enough, it doesn't matter what you buy, but those coins never seem to apply. Forget the coins, the maximum vouchers, the maximum discount vouchers never seem to apply. You can randomly buy any shit you want to from the whole of the Draz app and still find that that maximum voucher is not applicable. Weirdly enough, it is never applicable to any one of the million things that you've added to your cart. It's amazing. So the Raz is becoming a scam, which is again not surprising because, as I've talked about this even before. I've said it. I actually started talking about this a couple of years ago. That notice how international brands and other bigger brands, national or international, how they manipulate the situation in countries like ours because they know that in their own countries they have to adhere to certain rules and regulations, and they have to adhere to certain quality standards. But they know that in countries like ours, they can get away with all of it because there's no law, there's no order. They can just, they will break all the rules, all the laws, and they will earn maximum profits from countries like ours. And then at the right time, they'll wind up and go. Look at L'Oreal, look at Garnier and all. I swear the amount of fake products that you're finding or the amount of low quality products that you're getting, despite the fact that actually, they do have a market here. But even their genuine products that are of such low quality, you try using. And same as with Procter and Gamble and Unilever too, by the way. Don't even get me started on that. They're local manufacturers in our countries. And yet, you check out the Procter and Gamble and Unilever products in Europe, and then you check it out here. Similarly, you check L'Oreal there, you check it here. You check Garnier there, you check it here. There's a huge difference in quality and in price too, and not in a good way. They're scamming you. These brands that you people are always saying, oh, but still, whatever it is, brands have these brands are scamming you. The only reason you manage to get somewhat good quality of these brands is because you are actually buying those brands from those countries where they have no choice but to maintain a quality. But even there, they've lowered their quality standards and people are well aware. But to you, it's a pretty good quality because guess what? You've been actually living with their lowest quality in your own country. And original products of those brands, mind you, not fake, not dupes. This is how brands have been scamming people all over the world. You think Zara is a brand? I mean, I know nowadays we tend to call everything a brand and all, but if you look at it properly, Zara is basically just a fast fashion brand. Okay, we'll take it as a brand. What has Zara done to maintain its quality? Look at the prices, look at the quality. Forget that. Look at denim, the fabric. Have you ever seen a more hard, more plasticky looking denim in your entire life? And I'm talking about branded denims. Forget unbranded. What happened to denim being the most, the softest, the most comfortable, the most absorbent cloth there is? To me, it looks like nothing but recycled plastic, which is what it most probably is now anyway. If you look at the stitching quality, the fabric quality of brands, high end and fast fashion, they have both compromised so badly. I think those that couldn't compromise or didn't compromise are either on the verge of closing down or they've closed down. For example, if you look at the tailored suits of my dad from John Lewis, I have not seen a John Lewis in the past 10 odd years. Actually, I've never seen a John Lewis on anybody, seriously. But generally, even in England, when I was in England 15 years ago, when I was living there, I have not seen. I don't remember. I remember once I did wonder if I should check it out and see if John Lewis actually exists. I don't remember that I actually saw it. It probably still exists. I don't know, but it's not something that you can easily you can't really check it out or find it or look for it. You don't even see it online. You don't see John Lewis online. You don't. So I mean, those that are trying to stick to their quality, to their products, to their principles, they have either closed down or they're now so limited and so difficult now to find that only just, not even the elites probably can get to them, just the 1% maybe. Which is not a good thing and it's not a bad thing, I guess. I don't know. It's a bad thing overall actually, but it's not even about high end and fast fashion. It's again about maintaining quality. As I said, there's Abercrombie and Fitch, and there's were supposed to be really really good. Almost, I think they were considered high end. But if you look at their stuff now, so many people have complained about how this it's not the same. You know, so there is this difference, yes. And if you go to France and if you go to Italy and all, can you seriously tell me that, yeah, their products, of all those old high end brands, that you can easily find them in the same quality, you know, be it scents or be it shoes or, you know, is it that quality? As I said, quality actually began getting degraded almost 23 years ago, you know, and it's just gotten worse. So it's absolutely ridiculous when people try to convince me that no, brands still have a. Yeah, you're just buying the name, nothing else. And again, I would say the times when brands had very good quality, unbranded items had equally good or, just as good qualities too. If you look at my branded and unbranded sweaters, they're both right now with me. It's been more than 2 decades. They're both with me in exactly the same shape and condition and everything that, I don't even understand what's the difference between them. They're maintaining their shape, they're maintaining their integrity, they're maintaining everything. I mean, I don't see the difference. And now actually, when I go and I try to see unbranded and branded stuff, they both just look so bad, and they both have such short lifespans. And I'm wondering, how can you talk to me about environmentally conscious? And, how can you talk to me about, you know, durability, sustainability in this when you are literally mass producing trash? You're just adding to that landfill that can be seen from space. Well, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.